Censored.tv is not working. Is that because of the assassination? Wow, look at Censored.tv. Send it the link. Censored.tv. There you go, everybody. You get what you pay for. Wow, these fucking losers. Censored.tv. Server error. I thought it was going to be seamless. Or is that a food delivery? See, it's going to be seamless. Him and the Proud Boy and the other Proud Boy. They have so much to talk about with the assassination. So much to talk about. I know nobody watches the show, but
Bruce Loyalist. Thank you. Hi, Ant. I hope you're doing well. Why did you have Gavin fire everyone so nonchalantly? This is
because Gavin's a prick, and Gavin enjoyed it. Gavin literally enjoyed doing it. He enjoyed it. That's the kind of prick Gavin is.
A huge question I've been getting for quite some time.
And second of all, Anthony's been drinking. He was drinking. This was at Saturday night, I think. It's Saturday night, and I ain't got nobody. So Anthony's been drinking. That's why he's so relaxed, and that's probably why he wants to talk about it now, because he's just like, come on, everybody.
And I guess I should answer it now since everyone's here.
I like how Anthony's always shitting on politicians and whatever, like he's doing the same thing every shitty politician would do. He's like, he don't really want to talk about it, but it's like, it's been enough time now. It's been a week or two, and I'm safe in South Carolina. I've been doing some drinking. This was I think this was not this past Saturday. I think the Saturday before. Because I think that was when he jumped on. Yeah.
Talk of a merger between Compound Media and Censored.tv, which is Gavin's joint.
That's not working.
For quite a while.
It's not working.
Years, literally years.
Seamless.
Gavin has been approaching me and talked at length about how we would merge the companies, what that would look like, all of it.
It would look like shit on the 15th of July.
And my one thing was like, I don't know. I just want to keep this going the way it is. I like everyone I work with. We're all having such a good time. It's not killing me. This is great.
It was killing you though. Remember you had a heart attack in September, the end of September? It's all tied into the heart attack, first of all. So he's going to say it's money, but he's like, Gina was drinking him to death. Gavin was drinking him a little bit to death. I mean, he had a drink every Wednesday with Gavin, all the other days with Gino. It was killing him. This thing was killing him. Anybody who he relies on for counsel was going to be like, you got to get out of New York. You're drinking yourself to death. Whether it's Dr. Steve or Chris Baldessano, any of those guys that he's known for a long time, Joe Curry, they're like, just get out of town and you'll be fine. So it was killing him.
I love it. Then it got to the point where just this past January, my finance
sorry about the late start.
Guy called me and goes, hey, I need 50 grand from, my bank, my personal money, my money, $50,000. I need 50.
He's laughing because he's drinking. I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong, but I don't know if he's supposed to be drinking anyway. It's not my business. But I mean, if he has a couple of drinks, I'm sure it's fine. But he has been drinking because I don't know if I watched it live or something. I just know it was late enough on a Saturday night that he was drinking.
50 grand, for payroll and logistics for Compound Media, bandwidth charges, rent for the studio, everything.
Where are you getting your bandwidth from outer space? This feels expensive. 50,000 for bandwidth. How much is mine, Adam?
I need 50 grand. And then I went, I hate this. I wish it was better, but okay. All right. And we were gross.
He just wanted to keep it. He just wanted to keep it going until the 10-year. That's it. He's like, I'll keep paying till the 10-year.
When, I hate this. I wish it was better, but okay. All right. And we were grossing a shitload of money, as Gavin has pointed out.
Were you? You were grossing a shitload of money. Then why'd you have to pay $50,000 out of your own pocket in January? And then again, he'll tell you. Then again in April, if you're killing it, why are you shelling out so much money?
Probably know that from what Gavin has said.
Right. You can always trust
and then
these
I went,
guys.
I hate this.
Show us the numbers. Show us the documentation. Well, Gavin, again, Cumia is blaming Gavin. Gavin said we were making a lot of money, so it's true. Gavin told us to hire Bill Schultz, so we did it. You know how that worked out.
And logistics for Compound Media, bandwidth charges, rent for the studio, everything.
Right.
I need $50,000. And then I went, I hate this. I wish it was better, but okay. All right. And we were grossing a shitload of money, as Gavin has pointed out.
See, he doesn't even say it, and also he's lying. Look how his head drops. He wasn't grossing a shitload of money. He's saying Gavin is lying, saying we made. So listen to what Gavin said. He's saying we're grossing a shitload of money, even though there's absolutely no proof. But he's like, look, Gavin's been saying it, so it's true. And he drops his head because he's lying. It's an obvious tell.
You probably know that from what Gavin has said.
Well, why don't you say it? Why don't you say it? Well, Gavin said we're grossing a lot of money, so it must be true.
Compound Media was $1 million a year company.
It was. It was in the past, not anymore.
Load of money, as Gavin has pointed out. You probably know that from what Gavin has said. Compound Media was $1 million a year company.
Was.
So I'm like, okay,
when?
I'll make the transfer.
And $1 million ain't that much for gross for a year. That's about, what is that? 12. That's 8. So he's talking about they have 10. If you have 10,000 subscribers at $8, I don't know what I pay, $8 or $9. 10,000 at $8. That's 80,000 a month, and then that becomes about 100,000. But they probably don't have it anymore. That's why they're killing off shows, and they haven't hired anybody since forever. Aaron Burr quit. They didn't even think about getting somebody else. Everybody quit. Everybody either quit or got fired. They didn't replace any shows. So at some point they probably were making okay money, but then it stopped.
Transfer into the Compound Media account and $50,000. You could do that because that had happened before. And I'm like, okay, don't care. I'm having a great time. I do shots with fucking Gino at the Sullivans. I love walking in and doing Chrissy's show, and we hang out. And Garrett, Drew, Steve.
Yeah, speaking of Chrissy's show, I guess she addressed it yesterday because I saw it on Reddit. So if anybody finds a clip of her saying basically like Gavin offered her like nothing. And again, Chrissy wasn't, and I guess Chrissy said she wasn't making much money at Compound Media, which I know to be true. I mean, because I think she called me when she was gonna. She's like, "What should he's offering me?" I think they offered her nothing when she started. They offered her like any ads you get, you can keep, but I think they offered her nothing, like just to do the show, Because when I got there, they paid me per show, but I think with Chrissy, like, So I think she basically said Compound Media didn't pay her much. So, and Gavin's probably like, I won't pay you much either. But Cumia is doing what any coward would do. He's like, Gavin said we made a lot of money. Gavin's firing everybody because Gavin's like, I'm a tough guy and nobody will challenge me. And Cumia's like, I'm in South Carolina. I don't know. Gavin's my boyfriend. Listen to him.
We laugh our balls off. Yeah. To me, that was worth $50,000.
It was.
Until April rolled around of the same year, January, February, March, April. And my finance guy goes, I need $50,000.
Who's your finance guy? Vinny Boombots? Dr. Vinny Boombots? First of all, they weren't making any money. That's why the finance guy's like, I need more money because your gross revenues are not good.
I go, huh? What?
So we wanted $50,000 in January of 2024, $50,000 in April of 2024. First of all, it all started with the heart attack or the heart situation. Once that was He was just looking for a reason to get out. So we don't know if any of this is true. That his finance guy's like, I need 50 grand in January, and then 3 months later. First of all, no one's going to do that. No one's going to pay 50 grand out of pocket. It's stupid. But he was looking for an excuse to merge and looking for an excuse to just close the studio. And he just want to get to 10 years. He almost made it.
You say Barracuda. People go, huh? What? You say $50,000. So I really had to start reconsidering the Gavin Censored.tv Compound Media merger. Because what the merger would bring was a distribution system
that's not working right now.
That was a fuckload cheaper.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Redundancy in employees.
Redundancy. I should be calling my show Redundancy. Shouldn't I? Don't I talk about the same thing every day? Redundancy. That's the name of the today's show anyway.
You know, you got producers and runners and computer people and all that. That would now, you could cut that cost. And I had to do it. There was no.
You didn't do it. Gavin did, because you're a chinless, ballless prick.
That was a fuckload cheaper. Redundancy in employees. You know, you got producers and runners and computer people and all that. That would now, you could cut that cost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I had to do it. There was no other option. And by the way, I was doing the 50 grand thing like that for 2 fucking years.
Then why are you telling this story? He said like 50 grand in January and then April. It's like, so you've been paying 50 grand every 3 months? It's 200 grand a year out of your own pocket. There's no way that's true.
It wasn't just going, uh-oh, my money's coming out of my pocket. Fire these fucking pieces of shit. I wasn't doing that.
No, he wanted to make the 10 years. Once he started by, once he was looking into moving to South Carolina, started a whole fucking chain of events. Because then he was like, eventually he's going to close the studio. And then, but the heart attack kind of precipitated or sped up everything. Because he's like, I got to get the fuck out of New York, or else I'm going to, Gina's going to drink me to death.
Was paying everybody very well, by the way. I defy you. And by the way, it's not even a thing that I would just say. It's so
Gavin will say it.
True. And it was such a good fucking place to work. You could ask any of the people that were fired, and they'll tell you the same thing. You think Gas Digital is paying their employees what I was paying people at Compound Media?
We know.
10.
Yeah, we know that because when Garrett and Steve quit or got fired, nobody was crying. When people quit or get fired at Gas Digital, they start crying. People start crying. They start sobbing. That's how bad the pay is over there.
Fucking years? No.
Adam never complained. Adam, send yourself the link.
Oh. For 2 years, I was looking at, the red line on the old income bracket, and I kept it going for 2 years.
Yeah, because you weren't making any money because you're stupid. You're paying Bill Schultz $100 grand a year between him and Joanne, $100 grand a year. What were you paying Gino? You're just burning money. You're dumb. And then he's like, no, because I'm a nice guy. Also, he's a coward. So we had to wait till he had a house in South Carolina so he wouldn't have to fire anybody because he's a coward. But he's like, I'm a nice guy. Also, you're a coward.
Yeah, I was hoping something might happen. We might get some heat from something or anything. But it wasn't bothering me because I was having a fucking pisser with these guys. The funnest group of people you'll ever hang out with.
He likes to say fun, which is gay. Sometimes after we do a show, he goes, that was a lot. That was fun. That was a fun show. I'd be like, are you going to go blow a dude now?
Talented, funny, and I love them. But it just got to the point where, look, I'm semi-retired at this point. I got to pay my mortgage.
Wow, he's that broke? He's worried about paying his mortgage? His mortgage can't be a lot at South Kakalaka. Come on. Can't be a lot. Borga will know, but it can't be a lot.
I want to buy things if I want
to
them.
buy things. You got everything you need. You got a girlfriend, you got all your guns, you got a house. What do you want to buy? An off-road vehicle? What do they call it? OTC?
I'm going to live a nice life for the rest of my life.
He had to get away from Gino and Gavin. They were drinking him to death. And then once he was there, it's like, you know what, guys? We're making it to 10 years. Because that's all they said. 10 years, 10 years, 10 years.
So the idea of shelling out $50,000 every 3 months wasn't conducive with where I was in my life. Now, the point you made, and I'm not avoiding the question, why did Gavin fire everybody? I wasn't thinking about the merger until after I got down here to South Carolina. I'd been up to New York numerous times. I think those guys saw something coming.
They didn't. They didn't. Garrett said he thought after you fired Bill Schultz and Don Jameson that, you had to cut some fat, made sense, but he didn't tip them off at all, according to them.
Firing of other shows and the fact that I was down in South Carolina.
Yeah, I could have told them things weren't looking good, but, they're like, well, we're not going to ask them. People don't like to ask awkward questions like Bob with Shuli. Shuli, how much money do we make each month? Shuli, I'm kind of an employee. Can I get a raise? And Bob's too much of a coward to ask Shuli what they make. So then he's like, I'll do my own show, Game Changer. And he's like, Kevin, can I do some shows over with you? I'll fix your show. Thanks, Bobby. Fix yourself first, Bobby. Bobby's like, I'll get my wife on. That'll wife number 4. We better make super chats or else she's gonna get it once we turn off the stream.
I'm not saying, hey, you should have known what was coming. They kind of knew. I
talked
to them.
They didn't. You didn't. They said you never said a word. He said I talked to them. You didn't. They said
I was down in South Carolina.
They didn't see it coming. Another lie.
I'm not saying, hey, you should have known what was coming. They kind of knew.
They didn't.
I've talked to them. I'm not on the outs with these guys. How Gavin turned out to find out, the merger had gone through, and Gavin's company, Censored, was taking over the logistical end of it.
How'd that work out?
I still do my show. I'm a partner in the company. I'm not an employee. But I was not the guy that all of a sudden was in charge of hirings and firings. But I was, because I was.
Oh wow, so he was a partner, but he wasn't in charge of mergers and acquisitions or hiring and firing. That was Gavin.
Here in South Carolina. If I was in New York, I'd have been in the studio.
But you weren't. Were you, Blanche? You weren't
when that happened. But I was in South Carolina,
conveniently, safely, where no one could take a swing at him.
I was on the Zoom meeting.
Oh, that's ballsy, being on this. Hey, you guys, if you want to spit on me on the Zoom, go ahead.
When that happened. And Gavin explained to everybody the situation. This is what it is. There was a merger, and some of you people are not going to be employed by this new entity anymore.
None of them are not. They all got shit offers and shit deals. Some of you. Nobody went over but him, and that was Gavin's plan all of motherfucking long. Like I said from day one, once I looked at Censored.tv, I'm like, they got plenty of shows. They don't need Chrissy Mayer's wet spot. Or Gino Bisconti's kind of like he's done 1,400 in hot water shows. Nobody gives a fuck. Now he's a YouTuber begging Stephen Garrett to come on him so he can make some money.
More. There's not, for everyone that gives me shit about it and says, why did you do this? What is that? Why do you leave these guys out? Talk to the actual people involved. Myself, Gavin, Garrett, Drew, Steve, Luby, E-Rock. Talk to them.
I put some Luby on my cock the other day for you know what. E-Rock wouldn't have a good word to fucking say about you. Sorry. And all the other guys are taking a high road, and they're smart to take the high road because Garrett and Steve are already doing. Listen, I don't know if they're ever going to make as much as they made at Compound Media, whatever he's paying them. I mean, making the money through Patreon or YouTube, it's a little unpredictable. Not for me, if Melton's watching. Not for me, but it can be if you're trying to feed a family like Steve and Garrett are. Maybe Steve and Garrett can live together. That might be a good idea. That way they can consolidate costs like Cumia did with Gavin. Merge their families.
Shit about it and says, why did you do this? What is that? Why do you leave these guys out?
Steve and Garrett were smart because they took the high road and then everybody was supporting them. Gino looks like a bitch, getting drunk, trying to act tough with Gavin. He's been trying to talk tough with Gavin from the beginning. He's like, I got this catalog. His mom, Gino's, whatever his mom was, Julie didn't raise no fool. Tina didn't raise no fool. I forget what his mom's name was. He said on the stream, my mom didn't raise no fool. But she did. She did, Blanche. She did.
Talk to the actual people involved. Myself, Gavin, Garrett, Drew, Steve, Luby, E-Rock. Talk to them. They won't say anything like yours.
E-Rock will. E-Rock hasn't been. Is E-Rock even alive? Is E-Rock on Twitter? Is he anywhere? I got to have that Brian Johnson back on, see how he's doing.
Saying about, you fuck them over. They appreciate, and I appreciate that they actually have said this. They appreciate the 10 fucking years of amazing employment, one of a kind job.
It is a job where funny thing was after each show, they would be outside smoking. Garrett and I guess John, when I started there, John, and then was the girl Allie, they'd all be out smoking. So I don't know. It was a good vibe. At the beginning, it was a good vibe, but and then they fired everybody and everybody left and nobody reaped. After a while, like if Garrett and Steve didn't say like, wow, this is weird, they're like, nobody comes through here anymore. Like nobody would be hanging out there anymore. Like, when I did Cumia's show on Thursday, there'd be like nobody there. Nobody. It just, you have to be an idiot to not be a little suspicious, like, wow, this place has no energy anymore.
That they had amazing freedom to do whatever the fuck you want and really good money. I was not shortchanging anyone in that fucking place, and they'll be the first ones to tell you that. And by the way, Garrett and Steve and Gino are now doing shows outside of the Compound Media studio because we shut that down. And Drew asked me, hey, Anthony, would it be okay if I took a TriCaster, lights, cameras, whatever we need to get their show going? And I was like, of course, take it. So the equipment they're running to do their show on now is my equipment. I didn't ask for a dime. I don't want it back.
Yeah, you didn't want it. You didn't want it. Consolidation. You got extra equipment. What were you gonna? You're gonna pay somebody to ship it? They did you a favor. They took it off your hands. You're gonna have to pay somebody to get rid of it and or try to sell it or whatever the fuck. It's easier if someone just takes it.
It's theirs. I gave it to them. So
again, now Drew has a studio in his apartment and it looks depressing. Because it ain't Compound Media, which was a good setup. I've said it a million times. Looks good on camera. Look great on YouTube. Holds up.
That they can do a show. So if you still have a problem,
I do,
with what basic business.
I don't even have a problem. I'm just stating facts. I'm stating facts. He acts like just the way it worked out. He was waiting till he was safe in South Carolina. Then he's like, Gavin, go fire everybody. He goes, I'll be on the camera. I'll be on a Zoom call. So if they want to take a swing at me, it really can't hurt me. I mean, that's what he did. Let's call a spade a spade.
This economics are, if you've never run a business yourself and know everything about mergers and how redundancies work and equipment and all that, then feel free to keep shitting on me or Gavin or anyone else.
No,
but
no one's shitting
if you
on
do know
Gavin,
the slight
shitting on Gavin. Gavin didn't fire anybody. Everybody who works at Censored is still working. But you had, you know, you took the easy way out. That's a fact.